Everyone, and welcome back. We are joined now by Marcus Smart. And Marcus, great to see you. It was quite the off season for you, signing a contract extension. We know that you love, or Boston loves you. You love Boston. Why was it important for you to remain a Boston Celtic?
It was important just for the simple fact I was raised here. Boston drafted me at 6, and I've been here ever since. I've some of the hardest things in my life, events that occurred in my life personally. I was here in Boston while that happened. So, Boston's a second home for me, and to be able to have that legacy of in any sport and that you play in any profession, to be able to say, you've been here for 12 years plus or this many years is something that, is unheard of. And to have the opportunity to have that chance and my legacy live on in Boston, like you said, I love Boston and Boston loves me, so it was only right.
I'm pretty sure you coined that sentence here a
Yeah.
few years ago. I'm pretty sure that happened, yeah.
Exactly.
You're also the longest tenured Celtic now. Do you feel that you have an added responsibility in terms of leading this team and just being a vocal leader for them?
No, I don't feel like I have an added responsibility. I feel like I have the responsibility of going out there like I have every night I have, is going out there and doing everything in my power I can to help this team, and leading, speaking up on things that I see that most wouldn't, and vice versa from my teammates, speaking up on things that they see that we probably wouldn't see. We all see the game differently, and we all lead differently. For me, I like to do it vocally and, with my actions as well. So it's no added responsibility. It's just going out there to do what I'm great at and what I've been doing my whole life.
Well, one more question on that, because you're talking about your responsibility and what your role is on this team, and that you're the longest tenured player on this team. The interesting thing about your career here is that you've been great since the start, but there's never been a season where you walked in the door and you knew exactly what your role was going to be, or you knew that you were going to be a starter, or you knew you were going to be a reserve. I feel like this year you might have that. It sounds like you are the starting point guard of this team. If that happens and you know that is your role, does that affect you at all, just to be able to come in and know what it's going to be for the season?
Yeah, nothing is certain. So, I'm competing every day to try to get that role with the guys here. And if it does happen, for me, it's my primary position. I was drafted out of high school as a point guard. I was drafted into the league as a point guard. So it'll be for me finally being able to be in the right position that I know that I can exceed at and excel at, and show, what I'm capable of. So it's something that, I've been doing my whole life, and I'm just ready to actually to be put in that spotlight of where I'm supposed to be in this league.
Hey, highest assist number in your career last year. We know that it's going to keep going up. You've had one of the best assist to turnover ratios in the league for like the last 3 or 4 seasons. So I know we're all comfortable with you playing that role. One more question for you about your extension, and it's not necessarily about your extension, but we had 3 of them this summer. You, Rob Williams, Josh Richardson also signed one. Some organizations aren't prone to giving out extensions, and certainly 3 of them in one summer. What do you like about that from a player perspective of Brad being willing to do that with multiple players at the same time?
It just shows the loyalty, unfortunately in this business, that's what it is. So we kind of relax on that word when we talk about this, when we talk about sports, that, we're business first. Mm-hmm. And it gets slept on that, a lot of the players, we do everything, sacrifice our bodies, sacrifice our time, sacrifice our families, our life, our social life, for a team, for an organization, and all we want is that loyalty back. Mm-hmm. And the way that you prove that is, you sign, you go in and you sign those extensions to those guys that you feel, has showed the loyalty to you, and as a player, that right there kind of eases your mind that, me going out here and putting everything on the line every night, And
you do put it on the line.
And
every
I do.
Night. We all know
it shows
that.
a lot, and that means a lot to you as a player.
New head coach this year in Ime Udoka, and when I spoke to him during his introductory press conference, he had high praise for you and said that you actually remind him of how he was as a player, putting it all out on the floor, playing with the chip on his shoulder. What is that like to hear from your new head coach?
It means a lot, especially if you're going to be the extension of the coach out there on the floor. In that point guard role, so to be able to have that connection from Ime is something big, being able to work with him with the USA team, You know, we kind of got that step forward and that step ahead of knowing each other, feeling each other out, understanding each other. So, you know, to have that praise come from him means a lot.
Here's a little bit more praise. When I talked to him that same day, I said, what's it like coaching against Marcus Smart? Because he's the only coach that's come in who has coached against you. He said, it's a pain in the ass. That's how he phrased it. So I think he thinks highly of you, that's for sure.
There we go.
And fans are thinking highly of you. Marcus, we had people tweeted, honestly, I don't have a question for you. I just want to tell you that I love you. Boston loves you. And we are all so glad to keep you in green. What is that like for a player, knowing just the support that you have from the fans here? They love you, and just the city rallying around you.
It's everything, you know, especially, you know, when you got a group of people or a group of fans or a whole another group of whatever you want to call them, just, you know, waiting for your downfall, praying for your downfall, and expecting you to fall off. And so to see tweets like this and, you know, to hear people say things like that, you know, it means a lot. You know, and it just shows that, you know, you're doing everything you can, you're doing it the right way, keep going.
I'm sure that's not the only one that looks like that either right now. Hey, we got one more question for you that we're able to throw out there, and I want to talk to you about your hair. We were talking about it before you came in. I said, when we see Marcus Smart every year, we never know what it's going to look like. You love to change it up. Tell us about what you got rocking right now.
Definitely. So over the years, my hair has grown, so I'm able to do a lot more now, but, you know, definitely just switching it up. It's something I kind of started a couple years ago. You know, coming into the league, I had before I had the mohawk, I had the short hair for the 18 years of my life.
Yeah.
Then I got to college, switched it up. My mom really loved the braids, so I started with the braids. And when she passed away, I kind of just stuck with them. So she's never seen this before, but she's always told me, you know, she would like to see me in a bun. The last time she seen me when I had a bun was when I was like 2 years old.
Oh.
So, you know, just switching things up for me and, you know, just keeping it fresh, you know, keeping everybody on their toes with the fashion. I think I probably got one of the best hairdo in the league.
Love it. Top of the top.
Top of the top.
Love it.
Well, Marcus, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Great seeing you.